Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Thursday, July 23rd. And you can see temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. Again, a comfortable night for sleeping with fairly low dew points. And we're going to see a little bit more in the way of warm air move into the area here over the next 7 days. I think we're going to see temperatures about 2, maybe 3 degrees warmer on average over the next 7 days than what we saw over the previous 7. So that should help with the growing degree days as well. The main headline here, lots of sun this week, upper 70s to low 80s. There'll be more in the way of cloud state. In fact, with the return flow of moisture beginning, I think we'll see a little bit more in the way of cloud cover. And I think with convergence off the lakes, we're going to see the air pile up across the center part of the state. Do not be surprised if you see an isolated or a scattered thunderstorm in areas like Lansing and Charlotte and Jackson, Mount Pleasant, Alma, all the way up towards Harrison, Clare. The center part of the state, again, it could be an isolated shower, a thunder shower later on this afternoon with the heating of the atmosphere. But we'll wait and see if that happens. But for the most part, most of the areas, most of the time will be dry with lots of sunshine mixed in with the clouds. And if we look at the webcam this morning, another nice beginning of the day. This one from the Muskegon Channel showing a nice sunrise beginning to greet us with a new day. And you can see on the national radar map, you can see we talked about almost for the last 5 days how deep Gulf moisture would be cut off across the Tennessee Valley off into the southern states. And that's in addition to the high pressure system being in place with lots of dry air. Again, we're not going to get any of this very warm, moist air coming right out of the Gulf. Again, it will be cut off to our south. Rather, what we'll have is a northern stream system that could bring us some showers and thunderstorms for Friday night and Saturday. In fact, I think it's a good chance that most areas will pick up on some rain. If you look at the lower wind field here, the surface winds across the U.S., the first thing that sticks out is the southerly winds across the plains from Texas to the Dakotas, and very little wind across the Great Lakes area. That's due to high pressure that's overhead. And again, as that moves off to the east, we'll begin to see more of a return flow and a little bit warmer air. I think Friday and Saturday we get temperatures up into the low to mid 80s, maybe in the mid 80s. So it'll be certainly warmer and a little bit more humid, again, with a chance of thunderstorms on Saturday, followed by more clearing skies as we get to Sunday, Monday, and much of Tuesday. On the national weather map, you can see a low pressure system across North Dakota. That's going to continue to move to the northeast. This is the forecast map for Friday. You can see showers and thunderstorms, some locally severe, off to our west. But again, as this system moves in high pressure, it will weaken somewhat. And by the time it gets here on Saturday, you can see mainly scattered showers and thunderstorms that will be non-severe. But again, I think most areas will pick up some rain as we get into Saturday. Right now, the best bet would be around a quarter to a third of an inch. And again, if you get under a thunderstorm, you could certainly see quite a bit more than that. But again, for the most part, this does not look like a heavy rainmaker, again, with that deepest moisture trapped well to the south. And if we look at the next slide, you can see the WPC's forecast for precipitation over the next 7 days actually has the heavier rainfall off to our northwest and west. Hey, look at this, southeast lower Michigan. You're actually forecasted to be in the least amount of precipitation for the area. Of course, you'll say we'll believe it when we see it. If we look at the next slide, this is showing the El Nino. It's very strong, continues to become a very strong INSO event. But the biggest story really affecting Great Lakes, and we talked about that before the winter of 2012 and 13, how we expected a flip in the pattern that would bring some pretty cold winters, and also could lead to some shorter, less growing degree day seasons across the Great Lakes. And back then, I even suggested the thought that might be worth thinking about shorter day corn. Actually took a little bit of heat from that. But over the last 2 years, and now including the third year this year, we've seen certainly much less in the way of growing degree days. With this extreme warm compared to normal waters across the Gulf of Alaska and off the west coast, that has a tendency to promote ridging. And we've talked about that many times over the last several months. With ridging out to the west, that develops a trough across the central and eastern parts of the U.S. Thus, it's going to be cooler. And we've seen that pattern here over the last couple of years. And again, at some point, we do expect that this warm air is going to be reversed, and we're going to, or warm waters rather, flip to a colder setup. When that happens, I think we'll see more of a traditional growing season in the summer. I think we'll have a chance at more warmer temperatures. I think we see a return to drier conditions across Texas up into the plains. And then rather than have some vomitoxin issues back in this area, you could be looking at aflatoxin being more of a concern, and that happens when you get extended drought and heat conditions in some of the corn out that way, especially across Texas, Oklahoma. Now, again, if we look at the uh, temperature pattern here, this is the current yearly indicator of what we've had. And you can see in the shaded yellows, these are the below normal months that we've seen, and we're running about 3.6 here in July. And I think for the Breckenridge area, I think with the next 7 to 10 days being a little bit warmer than normal, we can get these numbers back into the -2 area. But again, the big story, 16 of the last 19 months have been below normal, and actually it's been more than that. These are just the last 2 years, but 16 of the last 19 months below normal is pretty amazing. And then also, if I can slide this over a little bit, you can see this is the warmest temperature we've seen in Breckenridge so far this year, only 87 degrees. No 90-degree readings at any of our stations across Michigan so far this year. So looks like we'll be a little bit above normal, I think, over the next week or so, with, for the most part, a fairly dry pattern. Again, 2 chances of precipitation I see Friday night and Saturday, and then again around Tuesday, Wednesday. Other than that, looks like pretty good weather to harvest wheat. Thanks for stopping by, and have a great day. And 73s to all.